Richard Fitzwilliams is on the line with us here, who's a royal commentator and expert in the British honours system, and it's quite timely that we've got him on today because the King's birthday honours will be announced later tonight, and of course Trooping the Colour will be tomorrow. So, hi Richard, how are you?
Well, I'm looking forward to, firstly, the honours. I mean, we know that because it has been leaked,
Yes.
that David Beckham will be becoming a knight. And I have to say, I'm absolutely delighted because, I mean,
Yes.
115 caps for England, former captain, he's a phenomenal. And I mean, also his charitable work, helping to bring the Olympics to London in 2012. And with also a nod, I'm delighted that Victoria will become, she's an OB in her own right, but she'll become Lady, because I remember, of course, the Spice Girls, one of the top girl bands of all time. So I do think that this is something that should have happened a long time ago. There's no question about it, but there were reasons that it didn't.
Absolutely. I mean, you've been saying for years, even on this show, that David Beckham ought to get one and he might get one, but now he's finally getting the knighthood. So why do you think it's this year that they've finally given it to him?
Well, there were reports that he had been involved with a tax evasion scheme that was certainly apparently not viewed particularly well by the authorities. I mean, Sir Gareth Southgate, he was apparently also involved, and he has become a knight, and that has cleared that bridge. Also, he had certain views on those who had held this up, and they were released in emails apparently in 2017. So, fair enough, there has been a delay, but it made the system seem very, very sluggish because, I mean, this was someone known worldwide. He was promoting Britain whenever he could, and I mean, everything from his tattoos to Adidas, which apparently wears the footwear. I mean, we were fascinated. This is not a question of looking at gossip and so forth, because there's been plenty of that. It's a question of looking at merit. David Beckham is a phenomenon. He's an extraordinary footballer. He's also someone who's done a great deal for charity, and he's done a great deal for Britain. And that is something that, philanthropy plays a large part in the honour system these days. It always should have. It does much more now. And Beckham is the perfect example. So this we must welcome. I do think also Tom Cruise, why not? I think he should get honorary knighthood because he again spends so much time in Britain. He's one of Hollywood's top stars. He films, that's been enormously beneficial.
And of course we know that David Beckham will be getting one. Do you have any thoughts about who else could get one this year, or is it something that you can't second guess?
Well, I don't know how we learnt about this. I mean, one of the problems with the honour system is that there appears from time to time to be a mole in the work. And someone leaking names, which isn't a good idea because, I mean, this is something that the recipients are asked not to tell the world. And in theory, I mean, this could have led to some problems with it. 2016, for example, we had Barbara Windsor, the fact she was becoming a dame, that got leaked. And also about 20 years ago, and this in fact benefited the system, the Honours Committee then was composed entirely of civil servants. We didn't know who they were, and some of those aspects of that, the fact Tim Henman got one to, quote, add interest because he hadn't done achieved a great deal as a tennis player. That thing helped to pave the way for a very drastic change in the system, which was long overdue. We also had 300 names of those who'd refused them for one reason or another leaked. That, again, is over 20 years ago. But what I'm saying is these leaks have periodically happened.
Do you think the public takes the honours system more or less seriously today than they did a generation ago?
Well, I suspect a generation ago, and certainly 50 years ago, ago, 60 years ago, far, far more went to civil servants. It varies because obviously the newspaper coverage tends to concentrate on the sensational. And I
Yes.
think when it comes to individuals being honoured for philanthropy, I think the public does take it seriously. When it comes to politicians, I think it's sceptical. But when it comes to well-known actors, actresses, figures who are obviously deserve it, whether it's fashion designers or artists. I mean, I think most people would, you take Sir Anthony Hopkins, Sir Ian McKellen, Sir David Suchet, and say, well, obviously.
Of course, we've got the honours tonight, but also tomorrow is Trooping the Colour. So, what can we expect from this year's spectacle?
Well, we can expect, I think, an impeccable display from the Coldstream Guard. They've just received a new colour from King Charles, and Trooping the Colour, the monarch has had two birthdays. This dates back from George IV, and there's no question at all that this is a fantastic display of pageantry. It's also one that, the late Queen Elizabeth was, of course, the expert on the parade. She first attended in the 1950s. And there's no doubt also that it's being altered to account for the fact that King Charles, as you know, is battling cancer. So he won't be riding as last year. He will be in a carriage, I think, with Queen Camilla, and he will be conducting the inspection from there and then, of course, taking the salute from the dais. There's no question also that it showcases the very best in British ceremonial. No country does it better, and that magnificent the triumphal avenue from Buckingham Palace to Horse Guards, the spectacle there when after the trooping they change the guard, then there's the iconic appearance on Buckingham Palace balcony and the flying past and the salutes and so forth. So the various guards take it in turns most years to troop the colour, and the Coldstream last did it in 2018, and it will be a spectacular display, and it appears the weather will be good, so we're looking for something that will also see, for example, George, Charlotte and Louis on the balcony, and their antics will always draw interest from the press. And of course, last year, when the Princess of Wales attended, there had been speculation of whether or not she would. She wore the most glorious outfit, a tribute to Audrey Hepburn's Eliza in My Fair Lady. And of course, she was herself battling cancer at the time. Now she's in remission. We look forward very much, of course, to seeing her.
And the balcony moment is maybe the most exciting part, because that's when you get the fly past. So are there any sort of expectations as to who might be on the balcony? I mean, is it going to be slimmed down, or is it going to be a big one this year?
Well, I think that we'll see working members of the royal family and, of course, George, Charlotte and Louis, and with Princess Anne, her husband, Vice Admiral Timothy Lawrence, he will be there. I think that's a fair prediction. I mean, for once, we won't have too much speculation about the Sussexes because after all, when royal occasions these days do tend to involve that, there's little doubt that it is a wonderful spectacle. It dates from the 18th century and also from the time when, in the fire and heat and fury and smoke of battle, it was very often difficult to discriminate friend from foe. So the colour was something that was, so to speak, when it's trooped, so that in fact you can recognise who, so to speak, is on your side. And I mean, it has therefore last used in 1881, and of course now it's symbolic, but the regimental colour consecrated in the religious ceremony is very precious to the regiment because of course it contains battle honours.
And how are you planning on watching Trooping the Colour? Are you watching the television coverage?
Well, I may be, as I was last year, giving some television coverage on it, which I frequently have in the past. It's always something. It's important also to bear in mind that the Coldstream and the other regiments are of the household cavalry and also the foot guards, that these are serving soldiers.
Yes.
A year and a half, the Coldstream have participated in training Ukrainian troops. They've seen service in Iraq. They've trained troops from other countries, including some in the Caribbean. So that's very important at a time when defence has become a very substantial issue. One thing is a characteristic of it is governments don't want to spend money on it, and that is part and parcel of a very fierce debate at the moment, as you know.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you get on because I'm sure you might have other people to speak to today because it's a big royal day. So many thanks for joining us and have a good weekend.
It's a great pleasure.